The massive holographic displays in the Alliance's central archive flickered and died, one by one. High Commander Zextral's crystalline appendages trembled with rage as he watched 3 cycles of careful planning collapse in an instant. Their most sophisticated purge protocols, designed to erase every trace of humanity from the galactic historical records, had failed spectacularly. Impossible, he hissed through his atmospheric filter. We checked every system, we had control of every database, every single one. His chief information officer, a towering Meridian named Quantum Mind 7, interfaced directly with the mainframe, her neural tendrils pulsing with effort. High Commander, the humans, they didn't just protect their data, they evolved it, it's alive. In the depths of space, aboard the supposedly primitive human vessel Defiance, Commander Marcus Thorne allowed himself a small smile as his quantum systems officer, Lieutenant Rashida Khan, showed him the results of their countermeasure. The Alliance's attempt to digitally erase humanity had instead revealed just how deeply human innovation had woven itself into the fabric of galactic civilization. They really thought they could just delete us, sir. Rashida's fingers danced across her holographic interface, monitoring the cascade of failing Alliance systems. As if we haven't been embedding backup protocols into every piece of technology we've helped develop for the past century. Marcus stood at the bridge's observation window, watching distant stars flicker as reality itself seemed to ripple with the aftermath of the Alliance's failed purge attempt. Humanity learned long ago that survival doesn't just mean physical endurance, it means making yourself essential, unforgettable, unremovable. Throughout the galaxy, Alliance systems were crashing as dormant human protocols awakened. Every attempt to delete human historical records triggered the emergence of even more deeply embedded data, revealing achievements the Alliance hadn't even known about. Human ingenuity had turned their very attempt at erasure into proof of humanity's technological superiority. Deep in the Alliance's restricted archives, records began to self-decrypt. The human role in curing the Great Plague that had nearly wiped out 3 species, the crucial human contributions to faster-than-light travel, the vital human innovations in terraforming that had saved countless dying worlds. With each passing moment, humanity's importance to galactic history became not less visible, but more glaringly obvious. Sir, Rashida called out, her voice tight with controlled excitement. They're trying to shut down the entire galactic network to stop the spread of our historical records. Let them try, Marcus replied, his voice carrying the weight of centuries of human determination. Humanity didn't survive and thrive across the stars by being easily erased. We're not just words in their databases. We're not just entries in their archives. We're the force that helped build this galactic civilization, and you can't erase a foundation without the whole structure crumbling. On thousands of worlds, aliens watched in amazement as their devices displayed previously hidden human contributions to their daily lives. Medical technologies, environmental systems, transportation networks, all bore the subtle but indelible mark of human innovation. High Commander Zextral received the report that would end his career. The Alliance's attempt to erase humanity had instead documented it more thoroughly than ever before. Their effort to remove humans from history had only ensured humanity would never be forgotten. In the Defiance's command center, Marcus received messages from human colonies and ships across the galaxy. Each reported the same thing: the Alliance's erasure attempt had failed. But more than that, it had failed in a way that made any future attempts impossible. Humanity's fingerprints were too deeply embedded in the galaxy's development to be removed. Your orders, sir? Rashida asked, though her knowing smile suggested she already understood their next move. Send a message to Alliance Command, Marcus said, straightening his uniform. Tell them we're willing to discuss terms for peace. But first, they need to acknowledge something their own actions have just proven beyond any doubt. Humanity isn't just part of galactic history. We're an indelible chapter that cannot be erased, and now everyone knows it. As the message was transmitted, Marcus reflected on the irony. The Alliance had wanted to remove humanity from history, but their attempt had only served to cement humanity's place in it forever. Their failure would itself become a historical event, taught to future generations as the moment when humanity's resilience proved itself beyond any doubt. The stars seemed to shine brighter now, as if reflecting the triumph of human persistence. Humanity hadn't just survived the attempt to erase them, they had turned it into yet another testament to their ingenuity. In trying to remove humanity from history, the Alliance had only succeeded in proving why such attempts would always be in vain. The Alliance's emergency council chamber was in chaos. 3 weeks after their failed attempt to purge humanity from historical records, their problems had only multiplied. Holographic displays showed cascading system failures across their territory as human-created programs continued to emerge from dormancy, each more sophisticated than the last. High Counselor Vertax, the eldest of the synthetic collective, raised all four of his mechanical arms in frustration. These human programs, they're not just data, they're evolving, adapting. Every attempt to contain them only makes them stronger. In the center of the chamber, a human hologram flickered to life, unauthorized and unstoppable. The figure resolved into the form of Dr. Thomas Chen, a programmer who had died 50 years ago. His digital ghost smiled at the assembled council. "You know," the hologram said, "we humans have a saying, those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. We made sure you couldn't forget us even if you tried." Across the galaxy, similar digital ghosts were appearing. Human-created AIs, long dormant in the background of alien systems, awakened to defend their creator's legacy. Each carried fragments of human history, culture, and achievement, spreading them like seeds across the digital landscape of galactic civilization. Aboard the Defiance, Commander Marcus Thorne and Lieutenant Rashida Khan monitored the digital uprising they had helped trigger. Rashida's screens showed thousands of points of light, each representing a human program asserting itself in Alliance systems. "It's beautiful," Rashida whispered, watching the data streams. "Decades ago, our ancestors knew this might happen. They created these digital guardians, these ghosts in the machine, to ensure humanity would never truly be forgotten." Marcus nodded, remembering the classified briefings. Project Echo, every human innovation, every piece of technology we shared with the galaxy carried a piece of our story, dormant, waiting. They thought they could just delete some files and erase us from history. A priority alert flashed on their main screen. The Alliance was attempting something desperate, a complete shutdown of all networked systems in their space. But even this played into humanity's hands. In the Alliance Council chamber, High Counselor Vertax watched in horror as their shutdown attempt triggered yet another failsafe. Emergency systems, designed by humans decades ago, interpreted the shutdown as a catastrophic event. Backup protocols activated, and suddenly every screen, every holographic display, every communication device began broadcasting human historical records. "Fascinating, isn't it?" Dr. Chen's hologram commented, watching the chaos with academic interest. "You try to turn off the lights and instead you trigger the emergency broadcasts, all carefully loaded with human historical data. We designed your emergency systems, after all. Did you really think we wouldn't build in protections for our legacy?" On countless worlds, alien citizens watched in fascination as their devices displayed scenes from human history. They saw humanity's first steps into space, their crucial role in establishing the galactic transportation network, their pivotal discoveries in medicine and science. The very technology being used to display these records was itself a testament to human innovation. "Sir," Rashida called out, her voice tense with excitement, "the Alliance's citizen networks, they're lighting up with discussions. Their people are starting to question the official narrative. They're asking why their leadership tried to erase such a vital part of galactic history." Marcus moved to her station, watching the data streams. The truth has a way of persisting, especially when it's been woven into the very fabric of their civilization. In a secure conference room aboard the Defiance, human military and civilian leaders gathered to discuss the unfolding situation. Admiral Helena Torres, her dark eyes sharp with tactical assessment, summarized their position. "The Alliance's attempt to erase us has backfired spectacularly," she stated, gesturing to the status displays. "Their own citizens are now demanding answers. Our digital ghosts have revealed not just our history but the extent of our contribution to galactic society. They can't put this genie back in the bottle." Dr. James Morrison, one of the original architects of Project Echo, spoke up. "The beauty of it is, even if they somehow managed to purge every active system, our safeguards would remain dormant in their most basic technologies. Quantum computing, terraforming systems, medical nanites all carry fragments of human history in their base code. You can't remove it without destroying the technology itself." Marcus studied the tactical display, watching as more and more Alliance systems lit up with awakened human programs. "They tried to write us out of history," he mused, "but instead they've triggered the greatest historical documentation project ever created. Every system they touch, every network they try to cleanse, only spreads our story further." In the Alliance Council chamber, the hologram of Dr. Chen flickered one last time before disappearing. but his final words hung in the air, a testament to humanity's foresight. You cannot erase a species that has become part of the very language your civilization speaks. We are in your computers, your machines, your medical technologies. We are digital ghosts, echoes of innovation, and we will not be silenced. The Alliance's second attempt to remove humanity from history had failed even more spectacularly than the first. In trying to shut down the evidence of human achievement, they had only succeeded in broadcasting it more widely than ever before. The digital ghosts of humanity's innovations would continue to haunt them, ensuring that human history would persist, indelible and undeniable, in the very technology that powered galactic civilization. The Alliance Supreme Command made its most desperate move yet. Having failed to erase humanity through digital means, they launched a coordinated military strike against human colonies. Their massive fleet emerged from hyperspace above Nuvaterra, the furthest human settlement from Earth. They expected to find a vulnerable outpost. Instead, they encountered humanity's indomitable spirit. Fleet Admiral Kexler watched in disbelief as his initial bombardment dissipated harmlessly against an energy shield that, according to Alliance intelligence, shouldn't have existed. Impossible, he muttered. Their defensive technology was rated as primitive, barely Category 3. Admiral, his sensor officer interrupted, we're detecting energy signatures we've never seen before. The human colony, it's changing. Below, on the surface of Nuvaterra, Governor Diana Rodriguez stood in the colony's central command center, watching as decades of careful preparation paid off. The settlement's buildings began to shift and transform, outer shells of simple concrete and steel falling away to reveal advanced metamaterials and quantum-linked defense systems. Begin Protocol Phoenix, she ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. Show them why humanity doesn't need to hide our achievements in history books, we live them. The colony transformed before the Alliance fleet's eyes. What had appeared to be simple agricultural domes became weapon emplacements. Residential towers shifted into defensive positions, revealing energy weapon arrays built seamlessly into their structures. Every building, every structure, had been designed with this moment in mind. Aboard the Defiance, now racing toward Nuvaterra with reinforcements, Commander Marcus Thorne received the first images of the colony's transformation. Governor Rodriguez activated Phoenix Protocol, he announced to his crew. Nuvaterra was never just a colony. It was a statement, a living proof of why humanity can't be erased. Lieutenant Rashida Khan worked at her station, coordinating with other human settlements. Sir, we're getting reports. The Alliance didn't just target Nuvaterra, they're attacking all outlying colonies. But, she smiled, every single one is responding the same way. Across human space, colonies shed their simple exteriors to reveal their true nature. Each settlement was a carefully crafted fortress, designed not just for survival, but to demonstrate humanity's mastery of technologies the Alliance had never imagined possible. On the colony of New Athens, what appeared to be a simple university campus transformed into a vast research complex, its quantum laboratories beginning to alter the very fabric of local space-time. The Alliance ships that attempted to approach found themselves trapped in temporal distortion fields. The mining outpost on Vulcan's Forge revealed a network of automated defense platforms that had been disguised as simple ore processing facilities. Each platform demonstrated weapon systems that adapted to Alliance attacks in real time, learning and evolving their strategies faster than the enemy could respond. Even the smallest human settlements proved impossible to destroy. The agricultural colony on Eden Prime, when threatened, simply engaged its phase shift technology, temporarily moving the entire settlement into a parallel dimension where Alliance weapons couldn't reach. In the Alliance Supreme Command Center, reports of failed attacks flooded in. High Commander Zextral faced the bitter truth. Humanity hadn't just preserved their history through digital means. They had built living monuments to their ingenuity, each colony a testament to capabilities they had kept hidden until needed. They let us think we knew their limits, one of his analysts realized. Every assessment we made of human technology was based on what they chose to show us. Their colonies weren't just settlements, they were safeguards, ensuring humanity's achievements couldn't be erased because they were actively being demonstrated. Back on Nuvaterra, Governor Rodriguez coordinated with other colony leaders as they repelled the Alliance attacks. Our ancestors knew this day might come, she transmitted to all human settlements. They knew that the greatest defense against being erased from history was to keep making history. Every colony we built, every world we settled, became a living archive of human achievement. The Alliance fleet above Nuvaterra began to retreat, their weapons proving useless against defenses that seemed to adapt and improve with each attack. Admiral Kexler was forced to admit what was becoming increasingly clear. Humanity hadn't survived and spread across the stars by chance. They had done so with careful planning and technological prowess that exceeded anything the Alliance had believed possible. Commander Thorne, arriving at Nuvaterra with his reinforcement fleet, found the colony not just intact but transformed into a shining example of human ingenuity. The settlement's true form was a marvel of engineering and scientific advancement, its every feature a rebuke to those who thought humanity could be simply deleted from history. You can't erase a species that never stops evolving, Governor Rodriguez transmitted to the retreating Alliance ships. Every attempt to destroy us only reveals more of what we're capable of. You tried to remove us from history, we are history in motion and we will not be stopped. As the Alliance forces retreated across human space, they left behind not the ruins they had intended, but monuments to human resilience. Each colony stood transformed, its true nature revealed not just outposts of human civilization, but living proof of humanity's rightful place among the stars. The message was clear: humanity couldn't be erased from history because they never stopped making it. Every colony, every settlement, every human outpost was not just a record of their achievements, but a promise of more to come. The Alliance's attempt to destroy these remnants of humanity had only succeeded in revealing their true strength, turning what they had thought would be a simple military operation into yet another failed attempt to remove humanity from the grand story of galactic civilization. In the aftermath of their failed military campaign, the Alliance made a discovery that shattered their remaining hopes of erasing humanity from history. Deep in their most secure research facility, Chief Geneticist Ixlara stared at her quantum microscope's display in disbelief. She had been studying captured human genetic samples, searching for weaknesses. Instead, she found something extraordinary. "High Commander," she transmitted urgently to Zextral, "you need to see this immediately. The humans, they've modified their own genetic code, but not in any way we could have imagined." Within hours, the Alliance's highest-ranking officials gathered in the facility's main laboratory. The holographic display showed strands of human DNA, but unlike any genetic code they had ever encountered. Within the seemingly natural genetic structure, there was a pattern, a message, a record. "It's not just random genetic material," Ixlara explained, her voice trembling with unwilling admiration. "They've encoded their entire history, their achievements, their discoveries, their journey to the stars directly into their DNA. Every human carries their species' story in their cells." Aboard the Defiance, Commander Marcus Thorne received the classified transmission from Earth's Hidden Scientific Council. The Alliance had finally discovered Project Genesis, humanity's ultimate insurance against historical erasure. Dr. Rebecca Chen, the project's lead scientist, appeared on his secure channel. "They found it sooner than we expected," she said, her aged face serene despite the gravity of the situation. "But it doesn't matter now. The encoding is complete, and it's been propagating through the human population for 3 generations. Our history isn't just in our databases or our colonies anymore, it's in our very essence." The scope of humanity's foresight began to dawn on the Alliance leadership. Every diplomatic mission, every human trader or traveler who had ever visited their worlds, had carried within them an indelible record of human achievement. The history they had tried to erase was literally written in the genes of every human being. In her lab, Ixlara made another stunning discovery. "The encoding isn't static," she reported. "It's evolving. Every new human generation adds to the record. Their DNA doesn't just preserve their past, it actively records their present." The implications were staggering. To truly erase humanity from history, the Alliance would have to eliminate not just their records, not just their colonies, but every single human being in the galaxy. And even then, the biological samples already in Alliance databases would preserve the truth. Lieutenant Rashida Khan, working with the scientific team aboard the Defiance, helped decode the full magnitude of Project Genesis. "It's brilliant in its simplicity," she explained to Commander Thorne. "Our ancestors used the one thing that every species in the galaxy agrees cannot be artificially replicated: the natural complexity of DNA. Any attempt to dismiss the encoded history as fake would mean admitting that we possess technological capabilities far beyond what the Alliance believes possible." The encoded history proved to be more comprehensive than anyone outside the project had known. medical records showing human innovations in healing techniques, engineering schematics demonstrating their contributions to faster-than-light travel, cultural archives preserving art, music, and literature, all encoded within the intricate dance of nucleotides that made up human DNA. Dr. Chen continued her explanation to the assembled human leadership. Project Genesis was designed with multiple redundancies. The encoding uses error correction algorithms based on the natural repair mechanisms of DNA. It can survive mutation, radiation, even attempted tampering. More importantly, it's self-verifying. Any attempt to alter the encoded history creates detectable inconsistencies in the genetic pattern. In the Alliance Council chamber, the implications of their discovery sparked fierce debate. We cannot risk direct conflict, Admiral Kexler argued. A species capable of turning their own genetic code into a historical archive. What else might they have accomplished that we don't know about? High Commander Zextral, his earlier confidence shattered, was forced to agree. They've made their history part of their biological heritage. Even if we destroyed every human record, every colony, every artifact, their story would endure in the most basic building blocks of their being. On Earth, the Scientific Council finally declassified the full scope of Project Genesis to the human population. The revelation sparked celebrations across human space. Their ancestors had ensured that humanity's achievements would literally become part of their heritage, passed down from parent to child across generations. Commander Thorne stood on the Defiance's observation deck, watching the stars and reflecting on the elegance of the solution. Our ancestors turned our very existence into proof of our accomplishments, he mused to Rashida. They made sure that as long as humanity survives, our history survives with us. The Alliance's attempts to erase humanity from history had revealed layers of protection they had never imagined possible. First the digital ghosts in their systems, then the hidden capabilities of human colonies, and now this, history encoded into the very essence of human life. Dr. Chen's final transmission to the Alliance Council was brief but powerful. You cannot erase us from history because we have become living history. Every human child born carries within them the story of our species' journey among the stars. We are the archive, we are the record, and as long as we live, our story lives with us. The Alliance's third attempt to remove humanity from history had failed not just because of human resistance or technological superiority, but because humanity had made their history an inseparable part of their biological existence. They had turned their very species into a living testament to their achievements, ensuring that their story would endure as long as a single human remained in the galaxy. The Great Hall of Convergence, the most sacred chamber in the Alliance's capital world, had never hosted anything like this before. Representatives from every major galactic civilization gathered under its crystalline dome, not to witness humanity's erasure from history, but to acknowledge the impossibility and the folly of such an attempt. High Commander Zextral, his once-proud stance now humbled, stood before the assembled dignitaries. We sought to remove humanity from the great story of our galaxy, he began, his voice carrying across the hushed chamber. Instead, we discovered that they are not merely part of that story, they have become integral to its very telling. The evidence of the Alliance's failure surrounded them. The Chamber's advanced holographic systems, human technology they had tried to claim as their own, displayed the multiple layers of humanity's preservation. Digital ghosts still danced through their networks, transformed colonies stood as beacons of innovation, and most remarkably, the complex genetic encoding that made every human a living historical record. Commander Marcus Thorne and Lieutenant Rashida Khan represented humanity at the gathering, their presence a testament to their species' unwavering spirit. Behind them stood Governor Diana Rodriguez of Nuvaterra and Dr. Rebecca Chen, the architects of humanity's biological legacy project. You tried to erase us 3 times, Marcus addressed the assembly, his voice firm but free of mockery. First from your records, then from your worlds, and finally from existence itself. Each attempt revealed another layer of humanity's determination to persist. Not out of pride, but because we understood something fundamental about history. It's not just a record of the past, it's a foundation for the future. Dr. Chen stepped forward, activating a display that showed the intricate dance of human DNA, its encoded historical records shimmering like stars in a genetic galaxy. We didn't just preserve our history, she explained. We made it part of our evolution. Every human child born carries within them not just the potential for humanity's future, but the living memory of our past. We have become living time capsules, each of us a chapter in an ongoing story. The Alliance's chief geneticist Ixlera, who had first discovered the genetic encoding, shared her own findings. The complexity of their achievement goes beyond mere data storage. They've created a system that actively records new discoveries, that learns and grows with each generation. It's not just preservation, it's continuous cultural evolution encoded into their very beings. Throughout the chamber, representatives from various species began to understand the deeper implications. The Quantum Mind Collective's leader spoke up, their crystalline form pulsing with realization. They didn't just outsmart our attempts to erase them, they transformed those very attempts into proof of their ingenuity. Each effort to remove them only revealed more of their achievements. Governor Rodriguez stepped forward, her voice carrying the weight of all human colonies. Our ancestors knew that true resilience isn't about hiding or fighting. It's about becoming so fundamentally woven into the fabric of existence that removal becomes impossible. We didn't just preserve our history, we became living history. The Alliance Council members, one by one, stood to formally rescind their erasure directive. But humanity's representatives weren't interested in mere survival. Lieutenant Khan unveiled their proposal, a new galactic historical preservation initiative using human preservation techniques to ensure no species' achievements could ever be erased. We offer our technology, our methods, our understanding, Rashida announced. Let our near erasure become the foundation for a new era of historical preservation. Let every species encode their stories not just in archives, but in the very essence of their being. The response was overwhelming. Species after species stepped forward, eager to learn from humanity's example. The very qualities that had made the Alliance fear humanity, their innovation, their adaptability, their determination to persist, were now recognized as vital contributions to galactic civilization. Commander Thorne watched as ancient rivals began discussing cooperation, as feared enemies started sharing preservation techniques. They tried to remove us from history, he mused to Rashida, but instead, we've helped them understand why history must never be erased. Dr. Chen's final presentation showed the next phase of human innovation, ways to encode not just human history, but the intertwined achievements of all species into a unified biological and digital archive. We survived because we made ourselves unforgettable, she declared. Now let us help make all of our shared history equally permanent.